Overthinking is a silent enemy. Did you know that nearly 73% of people say they overthink at least once a week? It's no wonder. Our brains are constantly buzzing with thoughts, and it can feel impossible to stop. In fact, studies show that we have up to 60,000 thoughts a day, many of them repetitive and unnecessary. But here's the kicker: overthinking doesn't just drain your energy, it also messes with your health. Chronic overthinking has been linked to higher stress levels, anxiety, and even a weakened immune system. But there's hope. Mindfulness is your secret weapon against the chaos in your head. It's not about trying to stop your thoughts, it's about learning how to take control of them. Over the next few chapters, I'm going to show you how mindfulness can help you stop the mental spiral and take back control. You'll learn simple, practical techniques that can turn your mind from a battleground into a place of calm. If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed, this guide is for you. Let's dive in and start turning your overthinking into focused, mindful living. Chapter 1: Mindfulness Unveiled. What it really means. Mindfulness isn't just a buzzword, it's a way of engaging with life. It's not about sitting still and emptying your mind, but rather about noticing what's happening right now. Jon Kabat-Zinn, a pioneer of mindfulness-based stress reduction, puts it simply: mindfulness means paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. What's unique is that mindfulness is a lifestyle shift, not just a practice. Research has shown that practicing mindfulness helps rewire your brain. It literally changes how your mind processes information, reducing overthinking. The goal isn't to escape your thoughts, but to acknowledge them without getting tangled in them. Studies from Harvard show that regular mindfulness practice increases gray matter in areas linked to memory, learning, and emotional regulation. This means that the more you practice, the more you become resilient to mental distractions. So, mindfulness isn't about pushing your thoughts away, it's about making room for all of them, good, bad, or neutral. One fascinating study found that after just 8 weeks of mindfulness training, participants reported a 38% drop in their levels of anxiety. Mindfulness isn't a quick fix but a transformative skill for life. And here's a fact: it's not just for yogis or spiritual gurus, anyone can do it. In fact, it's been shown to improve focus, creativity, and even relationships. Chapter 2: Stop the Mental Spin. How to silence the noise in your mind. If your mind is constantly spinning, it's time to learn how to quiet the noise. Imagine trying to listen to a song while a radio station blares over it. That's how overthinking feels. The first technique to use is mental decluttering. This is where you actively decide to take mental inventory. Start by jotting down your thoughts on paper. This lets you see your worries from a distance. Studies have found that writing down thoughts reduces anxiety by 20%. Another approach is the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. It's simple: name 5 things you see, 4 things you feel, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing you taste. This simple act of grounding your senses pulls you out of your head and into your environment. Neuroscience backs this up. Focusing on sensory input can immediately reduce the activity in the part of the brain responsible for anxiety. You can also try mindfulness breathing exercises. It sounds basic, but focusing on your breath for just 2 minutes activates the parasympathetic nervous system, calming your body. So, instead of obsessing over every little thought, try to create a mental pause button by engaging your senses or breathing deeply. Subscribe to the channel to get more tools to quiet your mind and feel more centered every day. Chapter 3: The Power of Pause. How to create space between thoughts. Creating space between your thoughts is like stepping back from a busy street to catch your breath. The first step is recognizing when a thought is spiraling into overthinking. In those moments, give yourself permission to pause. Simply notice: is this thought useful right now? This is a technique known as mindful awareness, and it's been shown to help break the cycle of rumination. A study in the journal Psychological Science found that people who practiced mindfulness reported lower levels of stress and greater emotional regulation. The pause doesn't mean you stop thinking, but rather, you create a mental space where you can choose how to react. One method to build this space is to focus on your breath. Every time your mind wanders, gently return to your breath. When you do this, you're creating that gap between stimulus and response. With practice, you can notice your thoughts without being controlled by them. Another technique is labeling your thoughts. That's a worry, or that's a judgment. This simple act of labeling helps you detach from the emotion attached to the thought. Research shows that this kind of mental distancing reduces emotional reactivity. It's like turning the volume down on a loudspeaker. If you found this chapter helpful, make sure to subscribe for more tips on how to stay calm and take control of your mind. Chapter 4: Shift your focus. Reframe thoughts with radical awareness. Mindfulness allows you to shift the way you see your thoughts. Instead of overanalyzing them, you learn to reframe them in a more productive way. For instance, if you're stressed about a big presentation, instead of thinking, "I'm going to mess up," try shifting the focus to, "I'm prepared and ready." Reframing isn't about lying to yourself, it's about seeing the situation from a different angle. Cognitive behavioral research backs this up. People who practice reframing report a 30% decrease in negative thought patterns. One powerful exercise is to challenge automatic thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought based on facts, or is it just my mind overreacting? Another reframing strategy is practicing gratitude. When negative thoughts arise, try to counter them by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for. This trains your brain to focus on the positives. According to Dr. Rick Hanson, a psychologist, the brain is like Velcro for negative experiences and Teflon for positive ones, meaning we naturally tend to focus on the negative. Reframing helps reverse that tendency and strengthens our mindfulness muscles. Chapter 5: Feel first, think later. How to balance emotions with mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't just about controlling your thoughts, it's also about recognizing your emotions without being overwhelmed by them. When an emotion arises, instead of diving into your thoughts about it, try simply feeling it. Tune into your body. Are your muscles tense? Is your heart racing? By focusing on the physical sensations, you're letting your emotions flow naturally without getting caught in mental loops. Dr. Daniel Siegel, a neuroscientist, calls this name it to tame it. Naming the emotion, saying to yourself, "I'm feeling anxious," helps reduce its intensity. You're giving your brain the space to process the emotion rather than react impulsively. This is supported by research that shows mindfulness practice reduces emotional reactivity and increases emotional intelligence. Another practice is to sit with your discomfort for a moment. Instead of running away from difficult feelings, notice them without judgment. Studies show that this can increase emotional resilience over time. The key is not to avoid negative emotions, but to experience them fully and let them pass. In fact, a study published in Psychological Science found that people who practice mindfulness are better at regulating their emotions in stressful situations. Chapter 6: Beyond the Mind. Using everyday moments to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't something you do only during meditation, it's something you integrate into your daily life. Every moment offers an opportunity to practice mindfulness. Start with something simple, like brushing your teeth. Pay attention to the sensation of the brush against your teeth, the sound of the bristles, the taste of the toothpaste. Doing this transforms an ordinary activity into a moment of mindfulness. Research shows that mindfulness doesn't require lengthy sessions to have a significant effect. Even small moments of mindfulness throughout the day can help reduce stress and increase well-being. Another approach is to practice mindful walking. As you walk, focus on the movement of your feet, the rhythm of your breath, and the sounds around you. It's been shown that walking mindfully can reduce anxiety and boost creativity. Even when you're having a conversation, try practicing mindful listening. Fully engage in the conversation without thinking about what you're going to say next. Studies show that being truly present in interactions can improve relationships and reduce misunderstandings. So, mindfulness isn't just about doing something, it's about being with whatever you're doing, right here, right now. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep learning simple and easy ways to bring mindfulness into your life every day.